people, this is JC. I'm doing a last video for the evening. It's the third installment of my Scariest Rugby teams to have ever graced the rugby pitch, and it's the first one that I'm actually going to on a rugby club or domestic team. I'm going to go into history, and I think people may just guess what I'm going to be talking about here. Not so long ago, your best domestic provincial club rugby league, whatever, used to be regarded as the Super Rugby tournament, okay? Your best teams provincially were Bulls, Crusaders, Blues, Brumbies, and you can also even add a Waikato Chiefs if you want to, okay? And then, not so long ago, there was a dip in Super Rugby. Stadium started selling only half tickets instead of sellouts. You had the COVID-19 pandemic, and so on and such forth. Okay? But even before the COVID-19 pandemic, Super Rugby's attendances dropped. And during that drop, interest in European rugby rose. Okay? Your top players in the Southern Hemisphere started going up north and getting paid more. And your quality, those teams in the clubs up in Europe, aka Toulouse, Toulon, those sides, and Japan, rose. Which brings me to the team that I'm going to talk about now. Now, this team I put in two eras, okay? I'm going to actually do the entire thing in one go. Leinster, 2008 to 2024. Now, although Leinster hasn't won silverware since the United Rugby Championship was made, since South Africa's joined the URC, they are still a freaky side. I mean, they're successful as hell. I mean, you tell me, look, I'm a rugby coach, right? Let's say I'm coaching Blue Bulls or Stormers, any team. Anytime I'm going to play a team that has 3/4 of an Irish national side in it. I'm talking about the best Irish national side in history. 3/4 of them play for Leinster. I'd be quaking in my boots. That is skill, talent, physicality, all in one. It's a one beautiful recipe. It's wow. Okay. This team plays beautiful rugby. Okay. Now, I'm going to go into a bit of history here. Since attendances at Leinster games increased, the 2007 and 8 season, Leinster failed to qualify for the European Cup pool. Okay, that doesn't sound successful, but despite that, Leinster won the Celtic Cup that year with a whopping 41-8 win over a strong Newport Gwent Dragons side at home. Okay, Newport Gwent Dragons were strong at that time. Okay, that was still when Wales were strong. Okay, then in 2008 and 2009, European Cup, Leinster topped their pool, despite losses to the French sides Castres and English side Wasps. They had victory over Harlequins at the quarterfinal, followed by a 25-6 win over Munster in the semi-final at Munster's Croke Park Stadium. which is, by the way, one of the toughest stadiums for an away side to win at. And that game broke a world record of attendance at 82,200 tickets sold. Now that should tell you that this was actually a beginning of a slight dip in Super Rugby. Okay. Leinster then won the 2009 European Cup final at Murrayfield, beating Leicester Tigers 1916. That same Leicester Tigers team, although it was a B team, that same year beat the Springboks, who beat the All Blacks three times in a row, and won the Leinster that year. Yes, it was a second string Springbok midweek side. But that should tell you something about how strong this Leinster side is. Okay, and this isn't even Leinster at their best. Okay. In the 2009-2010 season, Leinster was eliminated from the European Cup at the semi-final by eventual winners, Toulouse. And despite this, and despite having topped the Pro 12 league in the regular season, Leinster lost their first ever playoff final, 17-12, at home against Ospreys. Okay, so 2009-2010 season wasn't so successful. But Leinster then went into the 2010 and 2011 season with a bang. Okay. Leinster beat English teams, the Leicester Tigers, Saracens, Northampton Saints, as well as the French Toulouse side, who were the defending champions at this time, if you remember clearly, to go on and to regain the championship. The European Championship, okay? They trailed by 27 points they trailed at half time, okay? And they achieved their biggest comeback, scoring 27 unanswered points in the second half to beat Northampton Saints 33-22. Okay? Despite that, Leinster fell short of claiming a double, losing 19-9 against their biggest Irish rivals, Munster, in the Pro 12 final. Okay. Now, they should already tell this team, they got character. They're hot. They're very hot. If you look at the success of this Leinster team alone and what this Leinster team can do, you've got 4 Irish provinces, okay? This team, you can then see the success of Ireland, okay? In 2011-2012 season, Leinster became only the second team ever to retain European Champions Cup, where they became unbeaten out of the pool stage, okay? And went on to beat Cardiff Blues 34-3 in the quarterfinal. A 1915 semi-final win over Clermont. And then they beat Ulster in a record final scoreline, 42-14. As well as becoming the first unbeaten side to win a European Champions Cup. Leinster again fell short of their double, okay? Now we move on to the 2012-2013 season, which proved to be yet another successful year for Leinster. The club finished second in the regular season in the Pro 14, but they defeated Glasgow 17-15 in the semi-finals. Then Leinster were crowned champions and then in the European Cup final they beat Stade Francais 34-13, and then they successfully beat Ulster 24-18 in the Pro 14 final. Claimed their third ever Pro 12 championship. Sorry, not Pro 14, Pro 12. Leinster then continued their success into the 2013-2014 season, becoming the first ever team to successfully defend the Pro 12 title, topping the group in the regular season, defeating Glasgow Warriors 34-12 in their fifth consecutive Pro 12 playoff. And then they went and secured a seventh major title in as many years, where they won the European title as well. Now, okay, unfortunately, the years 2015, 16, 17, which is what I split the 2 years apart, Leinster was blooding new players. Remember at that point, now, up until now, Johnny Sexton and those guys, they weren't playing for Leinster yet. Hence why I say Leinster was still climbing. Johnny Sexton only joined Leinster after 2017. Then you got 2018 to 2021, okay? Starting the 2007-18 season, Leinster won 4 straight Pro 14 championships. In Europe, they won the 2017-2018 Heineken Cup, where they beat Racing Metro 15-12 in the final. And they were runners-up in the 2018-2019 final, losing 2010 to the Saracens. Leinster were then knocked out of the Heineken Cup competition in the quarterfinals and again in the semi-finals in 2020 and 2021. The format did change slightly due to the COVID-19 pandemic in the following couple of years. EPCO's decision to cancel Leinster's game against Montpellier in the year 2021-2022 season, they awarded Montpellier 28-0 win, okay, because the match was cancelled. But Leinster came back and hammered Montpellier 89-7. That is how you make a statement. That is how you show a middle finger to the EPCR. With the 82-point margin, eclipsing their own previous record win in Europe back in 2004. Okay. Now the years that also followed, you had the URC that started as well. Now Leinster hasn't won the URC yet since South Africa joined it, and neither have they, I'm speaking under correction here, have they won the Champions Cup as well. But since South Africa joined the URC, every season, Leinster, with the exception to this year now, Leinster finished at the top of the log. A year ago, Leinster finished the URC at the top of the log, undefeated, only losing to Munster. I'm wrong there. They lost to the Bulls. That was a Leinster C team. They only lost one game. And then they lost to the Bulls, to Munster. Okay. The same year prior to that, the first URC season, the Bulls were lucky when they knocked out Leinster, then to set up a South African final as well. Okay. So that is why I put Leinster on this list as well. This side is to me the ultimate club side. Okay. Look, it's not always your trophies and your championships and your accolades that make you the top team. It's your form. Hey, look, everyone has a dull day, and lately Leinster's dull day just came at horrible times. But please, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section, and please do like my video and do share. And I'll do the next one tomorrow, and I'll also do a video on the Wales and Australia team selections. There were a couple of surprises there, both young teams as well. But let me know what you think, guys. Cheers.